mistakes. Maybe one mistake where he knows he was wrong, we know he was wrong, and he gave up a little pressure up the inside. It was his only pressure, but it was still a pressure. And it was a very, something that was very easy to get corrected with his eyes and his footwork. So, but other than that, one thing Drake has done since he's, started working in there last year is he brings a calming and a consistent, play to the table in there at center for you. Snaps were good. Last year we're all talking about that after game 1, right? And 2 and 3. But his snaps were good. Nobody asked about good snaps. Everybody asked about bad snaps. So I think it's my job as a coach to point out that was first and foremost on Saturday. We had really good snaps. That starts every single play out. So he did a good job at that. And like I said, I think he was a little bit consistent, but he could, in the run game and pass pro, but he could finish a little bit better.
John, you've been down in that environment in Florida many times. How do you keep your composure in an environment like that? Especially because, as Jeff said, things can tend to snowball on you if you make a couple of mistakes. How do you keep your composure in that kind of environment?
Well, it's no different than out here. We try to put these guys in stressful situations by maybe crowd noise or screaming or yelling, and they have to keep their composure here. So we train them for that. You got to keep your composure by going back to your fundamentals, by going back, and it's not, it's a coach speak type answer, but it goes back to the same things we cover on day 1, day 2, day 3, that it's going to be the difference in this football game, right? There's no magic formula, there's no magic plays, offense or defense. You got to go back and fundamentally beat that guy across from you, especially in our world, what we do up front offensive line. Goes back to, low pad level, hands inside, good first steps, solid technique in pass protection, not opening your hips, using your hands, getting your head back. All those things lead to success. So we try to keep them focused on that, not focused on the crowd noise, not focused on, hey, we're behind or we're ahead or whatever. Focus, regain your confidence in your fundamentals and go out and execute next series.
How aware are these players of the streak against Florida?
Well, how can't you be aware of it? It's in the paper every day. It's on media every day. It's somebody's talking about it and people asking about it every day. I'm sure they're aware of it. Coach Stoops has done a phenomenal job addressing it with our guys. And, every year is unique. Every year is a different team, them, us, and so you can't focus on that. You got to focus on what you need to do to get better right now from game 1 to game 2. We need to focus on ourselves. What can we go out there and do? And there's plenty that we can do better in game 2 than we did in game 1. And that's what we've emphasized as coaches.
I know you've probably already been asked this, but about the left tackles and how they played.
Yeah, I thought they did some good things for first games in there, but they also had plenty of things they can clean up. Lonnie, that's true for every guy out there, not just those young guys, there's older guys that can clean up plenty out of that game, until you get out there in front of a crowd and you've got a different person in front of you than you've been going against all training camp, sometimes things don't get, you don't show things. You don't show things in your game that are things you got to get corrected until you get in that environment. And so now we've seen it, we've watched it on film, we're coming out and working on it in practice, and now it's their job to fix some of those mistakes. It's my job to make sure they fix those mistakes and go forward into the game 2.
Thank you, John.